Guys, we're back.
We're back.
To be continued from last week.
Yeah.
We're into it. So
we are 1 centimeter into a 50-foot hole.
Exactly. TouchySubjectShow.com. Call in if you want to. 916-250-2571. So where we left off, Faber came in last week and he talked about his upcoming fight coming on in December, and then we started getting into Jeffrey Epstein, and then we started getting into the thick of it.
The details.
Okay.
So just to summarize, Epstein is a billionaire with an island. No one can really prove where he got his money from. He has connections to the Mossad, which is
allegations.
Allegations. He has connections to the Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA equivalent of the CIA.
Yes.
And he has and there's a blackmail ring.
He's essentially running a blackmail ring, and then
where
also
he's getting underage companions for figureheads, political figureheads, and then using the videotape of those relations as blackmail.
These are all allegations.
Right. These are the lines that are being drawn by a lot of people. This is the speculation.
This is the speculation. So, and it very could just be a creepy guy that happens to be wealthy and has these.
And for some reason, these
happenstance connections.
For some reason, these political dudes just are fucking.
Yeah, they just want to be around this guy.
Fucking douchers and disgusting kid touchers and should all be shot and dragged to their own blood.
So, where should we go next? Where do you want to? How do you want to go?
I'm letting you lead this journey, dude, because I'm pretty oblivious to it. I just know like what I see on Instagram, that Epstein didn't kill himself memes. And I feel like there's a lot of people in my position that only know the stuff like the stuff on the peripheral.
They haven't done much.
They haven't dug deep into it. So I'm gonna let you take us through a tour. Of this.
So last week we talked about that, and so where we were last week, about 3 weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago, this video released of. If you want to pull it up, this lady, Amy Roback, she's a news anchor, right, on ABC, the Good Morning America show. Now, there's this, so this is her right up here, Amy Roback. So she's a lovely, lovely lady.
Yeah.
She
Something
did this.
Hot about news anchors, though, right? Am I right or no?
Well, if that's your type, the blonde.
It's not
good-looking type.
It's not necessarily, but something about news anchors. It's just that maybe it's that they're a news anchor.
I can see that. I can see that.
Something hot about it.
So Project Veritas is I would say a more conservative leaning, but they do excellent journalism, and they do all this undercover type work, where they will go and they get videos of what's a good. They got a video of like a. School administrator saying that they won't fire teachers no matter what, even if they're accused beating a child or whatever that stuff. So like they do
like expose type stuff where they like
they get into it, and they have really good stuff. One thing that they recently exposed where they exposed videos from recordings from the CEO of CNN basically saying that. We don't care what's in the news. We're attacking Trump on the whistleblower thing, or we're like it's really distinct things, and they have really good work, and it's all like kind of like interesting journalism. So this is a video that was somehow leaked to Project Veritas, and it was a hot mic type situation where they weren't.
The person wasn't aware that they were.
No, she was aware. I don't know if she was aware or wasn't aware, but she was on camera. It seems like they were about to go on, about to record. I think because they're on Good Morning America live, and so I think it's live. And I've never actually seen the show, and they were about to go on, and before she was having a conversation with whoever. So this lady, 3 years ago, back in 2015 or 2016. She did a story on Jeffrey Epstein of everything, and we're not going to play the whole thing, but if you guys haven't seen this whole full video, you guys need to see it. So basically, what happened was, and this was right during the presidential election, and she did this whole thing on Jeffrey Epstein, and they killed the story. They would not let her.
CBS killed the story. Or
ABC killed the story on her, and this recording happened back in August when the whole Epstein stuff came out, when that was like the biggest story in the news, and she was basically talking to her friend or whomever, being pissed that she got scooped on the story. She's like, hey, I had this fucking story 3 years ago. Everything about it, I had everything. They interviewed victims of it. They interviewed the leading lady. She said she had photos of Clinton. She has everything. And she says they fucking killed the story. And they said, we don't know Jeffrey Epstein. They just killed the story. And that's what they said. And if you look at it, and then she talks about how she thinks he didn't kill himself. He was murdered. And the powers that be killed the story. So, which is, I mean, that's a fucking interesting thing.
Right, 100%.
So there's a couple takeaways from that. One, it's like, well, isn't ABC, like, you have this material of Jeffrey Epstein with fucking
high-profile politicians.
Yeah. Committing crimes.
Committing some of the most heinous crimes.
How is that
the most heinous crime?
So,
to me, in my opinion.
And then the head ups in ABC, the head executives tell them they can't run that story. So one is, how is that not complicit in the crime? Right. Like, this is 3 years ago. He's an innocent man. There could have been more victims. I don't know.
100%.
But it's like you have a murderer. If you have a murderer and you have information and you don't tell anybody, isn't it? I don't know the law.
Like,
but
do you have like the rest of the murders are also on you in some way? Yeah.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly. So, which is very interesting. So my next question in this is, well, why would they not? Why would they not? Why would they not kill the story?
Because, I mean,
why would they kill the story?
It doesn't make much sense for them to do it. Like, I'm one of those guys where, like, in conspiracies, I try to think about, like, who benefits from the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, a lot of conspiracies, they get thrown at you, and you're like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense because, people aren't going to go out on a limb and do some sketchy shit if it doesn't benefit them in some way.
Yeah.
It's like, running this story probably would have been a huge hit for whoever broke it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, that would have been huge. Like, if,
yes.
Which, like, that should be coveted information.
Yes.
Like, they should be ready to run that because their views are going to go through the fucking roof.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what is
so whose interest is it serving?
Whose interest is it serving?
Another tidbit of this is that the royal family is all tied up in this. So there's a guy, Prince Andrew. I don't know what branch of the family tree he's on, but he's high up in the royal family. And he was one of the main people that have been accused by the lady's name is Virginia Roberts. And she's been in hiding the last 12 years or so. And they pulled, there he is. They pulled, he
looks like one of those dudes.
Yeah, he definitely does. She found her and they pulled her out of hiding and did this whole interview and then they squashed the story about it. About the whole situation.
That's insane,
and
man.
They were getting in that talk, they were getting she said they were getting calls from the royal palace about saying you can't run this story, pushing it like that.
Well, what is it about I don't want to use the word elites, but what is it about these people, elites, politicians and literal princes? What is it about raping kids? What the fuck is going on?
Well, we don't know if he raped a kid like that. I mean, we don't want to say that, but
what I'm saying is, but we can say that there have been a lot of accusations and there have been a lot of proven people, whether it's A-list actors, whether it's movie producers, whether it's politicians.
Sure.
There is something going on with sexual assaults and child molesters and these acts of sexual just disgusting predator behavior.
It seems like it's been there for a while.
It's been there for a long time. Yeah. And last week I said widely accepted. What I meant more was that it's so prevalent and not necessarily accepted by everyone. I don't accept it. You don't accept it. But if you're doing that, the people, especially in a situation like what we're talking about, there's going to be people around that know about it.
Yeah.
So how does no one like? I don't care, dude. I don't give a fuck if you are. I don't care what our relation. I don't care what our relation is. If I find out that you're a dude who molests kids, like you're fucking dead to me.
Yeah.
Like how are there so many people?
I mean, okay. So
how are there some? What I'm asking is how are there so many people? Even the people who are. We can take an example of a proven example. You look at someone like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Like there were people who knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
There had to have been.
Of course.
And how is it so widely accepted? Like how can these how has it been? How can it continue? How has it continued for so long? How is it so prevalent? And it's like hard to wrap my head around.
So there's a
why
couple
people are protected.
There's a couple different things. So now with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, the girls are kind of borderline for what my understanding is. So they might be like maybe 16, 17, 18, 19. You know, you're not really sure. These are very vulnerable girls. Yeah. They're runaways. And then
can I say one thing real quick?
Go
also,
ahead.
Even it's not illegal. This is just a thing. This is a side thing between us as two dudes. It's kind of weird to me when a 50-year-old man's like super into 18-year-olds.
Oh yeah, that's really weird.
Like,
for sure.
Like she is legally an adult, but like, what is it? What about that's hot to you?
Yeah.
Because I'm not even 30 yet, and if you have a conversation with an 18-year-old, you're like, this is a child.
Yeah.
Like having I'm not even 30, and I'm not attracted to 18-year-olds.
It's a weird. It's definitely a weird thing.
When I see a dude who's in his 50s and 60s, and it's just like he loves himself an 18-year-old. Fucking creepy to me, man.
Yeah, I see a guy that's never got pussy before.
True.
You know, so he sees anything. Yeah. I mean, because at that point, like, I mean, there's a strong argument that that's rape. You know, like
100%.
There's a strong argument of especially when there's a huge power divide in there. But I mean, I agree with it. Let's not get off too. Maybe that's a different subject for a different day. But that's an interesting. Because
that's ingrained in culture, man. How many? I remember real quick before we get off this. I remember thinking this as a kid, where it'd be like, you're a kid, you start watching porn for the first time, you're like fucking 14 or whatever, and it's like all this shit. I remember so many things being like barely legal. It's like, why is that cool?
Yeah.
Why is that a selling point? Why is that a selling point?
So
what the fuck's going on around here?
But I think once a girl hits a certain age, then like 25 and stuff, like a 30-year-old with a 50, then...
No, 100%. A complete developed human with another complete developed human is a different story. Yeah.
But 18, you're really... That's a very thin line. Yeah. And like, I wouldn't be opposed to raising the age of consent to 21 or something like that. I mean, girls are young there at that age.
Everyone's young. I mean, boys too, but it's
boys are probably younger than girls, actually.
100%. But it's different, though.
It is definitely different, for sure. But
I digress.
But the Epstein stuff, like, so these girls, so he had this whole fucking net. He had like a fucking, what was it, like Amway or what are those pyramid type bullshit schemes?
Yeah, one of those like Ponzi schemes.
Whatever they are. He had a whole fucking network where he had this girl, and then if she can get, she would go out and recruit girls underneath her, and then they would recruit girls underneath her, and they all would get paid. Like, okay, so you had 5 girls.
Yeah.
You get paid for each one of those girls that you get.
You get a piece of that.
And then if they have 5 girls, then you get a piece of the 5 girls of each. So it like has this whole pyramid scheme of basically finding chicks.
Just young, vulnerable girls.
Young, vulnerable girls, fatherless homes, most likely, drug kind of. Yeah. They're in that age of not knowing and stuff. And then they go and they start. They have this whole network. So then this is the game. So they got these girls. He gets them in there in his fucking creepy Rolodex and stuff. Brings them. They're all on drugs. They're doing coke or whatever the fuck they're doing. They're partying. The girl maybe 17, maybe you're not really sure. Right. They don't got a guy fucking checking the ID.
Nobody's asking.
Checking the ID at the front of the fucking private jet.
Right.
They go on the private jet. And these girls are all fucking partying and stuff. Then the fucking billionaire Prince comes on, or the ex-president Bill Clinton, and that guy's getting drunk. He's partying. Next thing he knows, hey, Jeffrey Epstein tells one of the girls, or somehow it gets relayed to one of the girls, hey, if you fuck this dude, you're going to get an extra $1,000 or something. Go fuck him in that back room, or you're going to get an extra whatever. And it's like, well, but I need that money. So they fuck the guy. Now that guy just fucked a 17-year-old. Jeffrey Epstein has on camera. The Prince Andrew may think that he has, he just fucked a 20-year-old.
Right.
It's very thing. So there you have this network right here.
You're on the air. Stay with us.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on it. Hold on 1 second.
Stay with us. Hold on.
And so now you have this situation. Now Jeffrey Epstein has you in his pocket.
Yeah.
So next question.
Now he's calling favors. Now maybe the fucking now the politician. Now, hey, you're gonna come back on the plane, but bring your friend, or else I'm gonna leak this thing.
Exactly.
And then we'll get him in on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to bring on the Secretary of State with us too, and we'll you can.
Or you're going to our release this shit.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna drink, hook up with some hot young chicks, and hey, maybe even throw some donation money to you too. Yeah. And on top of, or the other option is I ruin you for your career. So I don't know if this is true, but I think that's a very rational, clear situation.
It's not very far fetched.
No, it's not some
considering
conspiracy.
what we already know.
Yeah, it's not some Pizzagate type thing, but it's we'll talk about that too. But it's an interesting thing. One thing before we take this call, one thing I want you you were talking about this pedophile kind of thing about it. So you think about in the early 2000s, the whole Catholic Church thing came out with all the priests were molesting kids and stuff, and I'm like, that's a terrible. It's a major institution, a terrible thing. But when you think about it, is it unreasonable to think that the Catholic Church is the only major institution to ever have this conspiracy of pedophilia? So we can accept the Catholic Church doing it, right?
Yeah.
But
I can't really accept it. I think
we can believe that they're doing that. We can believe that they're doing that. But everything else would if any other major institution, if it's a high up political institution of a bunch of elites and stuff, if they're doing it, that's completely insane. And
I was actually just about to ask homegirl who called in. I don't know. I wish she hadn't left. I'll ask you. That I guess that gets back to my question I asked earlier. What the fuck is it? Why is it? Is it a power thing? What is with these creeps? I think. Oh, so you're trying to find out what's the psychology? Yeah, of it. I
think
for the Catholic thing, it's a separate thing. I think it's about shame and the fact that you have an adult man who's never allowed to interact with a woman ever, and only allowed to interact with young boys, and you do that for 1,000 years, and you end up with some fucking weird shit. Just repress. You see that in a lot of other religious
it could be.
Too.
There's a lot of things that may cause that. One, there might be some weird biological malfunction in you. Some something's wrong with your brain.
But the systematic, the systematic, not acceptance. I don't want to say, just the prevalence of it in certain cultures. It's not prevalent in fight culture. No. If there was a guy who you found out did that in a gym, it would be really bad news for that guy.
Yeah.
Our MMA culture does not have that period.
Well,
but then you look at it.
I just think some cultures are low character when it comes down to it. If you got in Afghanistan, I've heard stories of. They're fucking kids rampantly out there. So I see it as that. I think there's, and now you look at what happened here with this situation. You had ABC that has been basically this. Good reporter has been bullied in not doing a story on a fucking sexual predator. So there has been a institution that has been protecting sexual predators within the United States. That's operating within the United States, insane, which is interesting.
I don't understand it.
Well, so if you have
it makes me sick to think about, dude.
High-powered people that are doing these acts, so it kind of gets us into kind of one other thing I want to talk about is Harvey Weinstein, right? So he's been apparently a very creepy guy over. So all this stuff came out. So what do you know about Harvey Weinstein?
I know a little bit of the story. I know a little bit about the story, just that he would demand sexual favors in exchange for movie parts, and he would use his position of power. And a lot of times I laugh about the idea of abusive position of power sometimes is gets taken to laughable territory where it's like
Sure.
fucking your coworker, like being like if you're a shift manager and there's an employee you're dating, like that's not if you're working at Target, like that's not abuse of power. But
No.
what Harvey Weinstein is a very
crushing
clear,
people's careers.
like it's a very clear example of using
Yeah.
your position of power
Yeah.
in the wrongest way. Like that's the when people go position of power, like that's the example. Like,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So one thing, so this happened all, I forget when it broke, by late 2017 or so. And so he was highly tied up with, I mean, he was at dinner with the Clintons on the election night. Okay. So so there it circles back.
Right.
You're circling back to I'm not trying to make it about a Clinton thing,
Right.
but I think the like kind of this sexual predator elite is starting to formalize.
Right.
Like we're starting to see.
It's easier to draw the fucking to draw the dot.
I mean, essentially the top Democrats, but I wouldn't even say the top Democrat, the top establishment. There,
Right.
I mean, you have Harvey Weinstein, you got Clinton, you got Epstein, you got this Alan Dershowitz guy that is tied in with Epstein and everything else. You got like Leslie Wexler. I mean, and these guys, they're all top like kind of donors to the Democrat Party, but also kind of more of the establishment people as well. So they're all tied into it. So how this story broke, this guy named Ronan Farrell. Do you know who that guy is?
Heard the name.
So he's a reporter. He is, which I think is kind of interesting too. So if you click on him, he is the son of Mia Farrow and Woody Allen. Okay.
Wow. Nice.
So he's the son of them, which I think is pretty interesting. Yeah. Where, if you know the story of this, so Mia Farrow was married to a guy. I forget the guy's name is. If you could probably go to a new link on it. So if you scroll down and look at that guy Andre Piven, whatever his name is, Pervin. Yeah, that guy. They adopted a young Asian girl named Soon Lee or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So if you scroll down, she leaves this guy. She gets with Woody Allen. I don't think they officially get married, but they were together for like 9 years or so. They have a son, Ronan Farrell. Ronan Farrell, not Ronan Farrell. So Woody Allen leaves Mia Farrell for Mia Farrell's adopted stepchild, Soon Lee.
Whoa.
She's like, and I think she's like 17 at the time. Yeah. And so his dad leaves his mom for his half stepsister.
Wow.
Or his adopted stepsister.
His adopted sister, yeah.
His adopted half sister, should we say?
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucked up situation.
It's a weird thing. Dude.
And so I mean, and that you're like, okay, and now this guy is at the precipice of exposing all these creepy elite like sexual predators, where he's the one that exposed Harvey Weinstein. He wrote a whole book about it. He also exposed this guy Eric Schneiderman. Eric Schneiderman was the state attorney in New York, who's this big, powerful guy. Exposed him for being the sexual predator guy. He got. Hey, hold on one second. I'm going to finish this one thought, and you'll be on. He got ousted because of it. Then he exposed Les Moonves, who is the head. I think he was the head of NBC or somebody, for having all these sexual escapades. So, which I think this guy is kind of, he kind of was in that world.
Yeah.
And now he has like maybe a vengeance to go.
Yeah.
And like he realizes how fucked up it is, and he's
how
exposing
prevalent it is. Yeah.
So, but we're gonna take this caller.
Yeah, caller, what's up?
And I want to get into what happened with him and Harvey Weinstein and the Mossad. So we're gonna get into it. You're
what's
on
up?
there. Hello?
Caller.
You're on the air. Hello?
Caller, you're on the
there
air.
or what? They just fucking with us. They playing punk ball? Is the volume
Hello?
up on this?
Yo,
Hello?
yo.
So, man,
What's up?
not much.
All right, what's up, man?
What's
We're in
going
the
on?
middle of stuff. You got something to say?
What's up, dude?
Hello?
Yeah,
Yo.
can you hear us? Yes or no?
What's up, man?
Yeah, sorry, the connection's kind of fucked up. I'll call back. Give me a sec.
He's
all
calling
good.
back? What, he can't hear us? All right.
Nah, fuck it. Fuck
All right.
callers for right now.
Okay.
You're on a thing.
Okay,
Fuck the callers.
Okay, so
We love you guys, but fuck the callers.
Ronan Farrell was on Bill Maher show,
Yeah.
Real Time Bill
Yeah.
Maher show. They do, and you can find this on YouTube. You maybe pull it up, but we won't play. I don't know what we can fucking play if we can get,
Yeah, it'll be all right.
I'll just
You're
explain
telling a
it.
good story.
Okay, so
Spinning a yarn.
He and I watched this morning. So, this was this last episode last week, but they do a thing called Overtime with Bill Maher, where they just do 10 extra minutes with all the guests, and they answer, I guess, audience questions at the end. So, and the audience, asked some questions. So in his book, he wrote about how an organization called the Black Cube was trying to silence him on reporting about Harvey Weinstein. Now, I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. What is that about? So he talks about this in the first couple minutes. So the Black Cube is a private paramilitary intelligence agency by the Mossad that Harvey Weinstein supposedly hired to intimidate anybody that is writing anything about him or anything. So, which I thought was really fucking interesting in that. So
that you even have the connection to go about doing that, right? I mean,
well,
he's a movie producer.
He's a fucking movie producer. Why is a foreign national, a foreign or agency in the United States intimidating journalists within the United States not to print stories about crimes people have committed? Why are we allowing that as a country of laws?
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah, a country that's like that prides itself on. That's the first fucking amendment. That's the first one. Like freedom of speech. It's the first. That's the very first one. Like
yes,
we pride ourselves on being a liberal, secular society that has free speech.
Yeah.
There's paramilitary groups.
So you have to
intimidating journalists. Intimidating journalists that's a big deal, right? I mean, like I think that's one of those things that like people might glance over, but that's like a huge that's some fucking This is something that you're huge on, and it took me a long time to realize how important the First Amendment is.
Oh fuck yeah!
It's a huge I think that especially. I used to take it for granted. I think a lot of people do take it for granted.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's a foreign paramilitary group intimidating journalists is a very dark.
American journalists.
It
would be one thing if it was like it was
a journalist from where they're from their country, their home country.
Yeah.
But an American journalist in America.
Yes.
Pretty fucking dark.
It's pretty fucking dark, yeah, for sure. And you and you go like one step further, and then like I thought about it, it's like, well, okay, how deep does this go? Now, then let's go back to the Jeffrey Epstein story about, well, one, how deep does it go? One, how many fucking groups are, like this or that are out there like that?
How many paramilitary groups are for rent?
Yeah. And then we got the Jeffrey Epstein story that the ABC executive squashed. So who are they talking to?
Right.
Like who talked to the person that told this lady she couldn't put her.
Like, are you thinking it's the same group of people, or it's connected, or you think it's? Are you asking like how many?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We know. I mean, Ronan Farrell said Black Cube got them to, or trying to get him not to talk about Harvey Weinstein. We know this lady got her blockbuster fucking story
of the
squashed.
fucking decade. Yeah,
who talked to the people that squashed that?
Right.
And then we know Jeffrey Epstein mysteriously has $1 billion.
Right.
We also know the Mossad is investing in fucking private companies. So another part of it, I mean, we keep going, but Jeffrey Epstein, we'll get one more thing about Jeffrey Epstein, and we're jumping around a little bit, but his girlfriend is this Ghislaine Maxwell. So it's about the fourth tab over. So who's Ghislaine? So she, and in that ABC clip, the lady talks about this lady. So the Amy Robach talks about this Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, who's Ghislaine Maxwell? She was supposedly Epstein's girlfriend, but the allegations are that she was one of his main kind of like, I would call it partner in crime, in the sense that
She would go help lure girls back.
she would help recruit the girls, help
Is that the
groom.
Finders you were talking about?
No, that's
That's a whole different thing?
dude.
Let's
I
do
mean,
that next episode.
Fuck, man. Well, we might turn this all into
Into
a
a
whole
fucking-
fucking intelligent fucking show. So Ghislaine Maxwell, she was helping Epstein recruit and groom these girls, and she was all in on the scam. Well, who's her dad? The question is. So we'll look up her dad. Is
She was like a madam. For
Robert
this.
Maxwell. Okay, so you click down, Robert Maxwell.
Shit.
So he's this giant fucking publishing titan.
He's a media magnet.
Media titan, whatever his name is. Now, there's allegations that he was part of the Mossad. He was like one of the main people that kind of helped the Mossad, because prior to 1949, prior to Israel becoming a state, there was like these paramilitary groups that were in Israel that was like his Mossad allegations. So there's like all these huge Mossad allegations that he was connected to it. Wow. And that he was able to build his entire publishing business based on receiving loans and money from the Mossad, so he can go in and buy up all these publications, and then now the Mossad can control the media and the narrative in those media things.
What the fuck?
You think about that sense. So if he has a connection in here, now his fucking daughter is hooked up with Jeffrey Epstein, and they're in this blackmailing, child sex trafficking, grooming scandal
thing. Yeah.
Blackmail thing, and then you got Harvey Weinstein, that is one of the biggest movie producers in
movies, yeah.
And he has connections to a Mossad private company that's going out intimidating people. And so, the question is his position. Did he get his position through his connections with the Mossad? I mean, we don't know how much connection he has. We know he hired this company, this private company.
I mean, there has to be some connection. Like I don't know how to hire them.
Yeah, I don't know
how do you go.
Well,
about
he definitely has
them?
some connection.
Right.
There's no proof that he got to his position because of that.
Right, maybe not, but maybe once he was in the position.
There is, I guess, allegations that Ghislaine Maxwell's father got into his position because of Mossad funded him to get into that position, and then they can control the media narrative in these publications. Well, if they were able to somehow get Harvey Weinstein into the position that he is, well, now they can control how movies are produced and how movies are, or how stories are told, and can they control a narrative that is more favorable to the policies that they want around the world? Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's
interesting, and it's one of those things where like there's a lot of conspiracy theories where you're like, that's a stretch. Like this isn't necessarily a stretch.
And that's like, and I hope I'm not like, and you guys tell me if I'm like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theory type guy. Like I'm only drawing connections of stuff that I can see, and then anything else that I will say like, okay, I don't know this. This is one logical.
Yeah, but it's logical, but it's reasonable.
Yeah, but and of course, like, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein could just be a guy that maybe he was more just an organized crime guy, and like he had maybe he just had some blackmail stuff on just a mob boss that he owed a lot of money to, and he said he was going to do this stuff, and maybe Harvey Weinstein just hired a publishing or a publicity.
And these things might not all be connected.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff too, but it's like, what the fuck?
But it's like, it's not even like where there's smoke, there's fire, but where there's smoke, 3 different places.
Yeah,
there's probably a little fire, right? I mean,
yeah.
Fuck, man, that's interesting. I'm glad.
Okay, I think that's enough for today, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have any questions? Does any of this make sense to you guys, or is it boring, or?
No, I didn't know all these connections.
I didn't realize it either. Yeah, that's why I wanted you to hear from you, because I think myself included, but a lot of people sort of only like see the memes. You know, they only
Yeah.
see the peripheral.
They
They
don't
only
really get
see
into
the
it.
headlines.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, I didn't know that it was all connected. I know I don't really know anything, but I hear a lot of speculation that there's a lot of sexual predators in the high level Hollywood people, high level
Yes.
politicians, Hollywood, like the elite, basically. As much as I hate
We got
using
a
that
caller?
word. Caller, what's up?
All right, we're about to wrap this up. We'll stop with
Let's do
the
it.
talk, but we'll let this
That was good,
caller chime in. You're on the air, dude. Hello?
What's up, fellas?
What
What
up?
up?
Jamie motherfucking Jones in
What
the
up,
building.
dog?
Jamie Jones!
What's up, homie?
Yeah, brother. How's it going, man?
Fellow podcast extraordinaire, local legend.
What's up with the home team?
Chilling, man. Just trying to follow your lead and have a successful podcast.
Nah, no, you're not following my lead. I'm looking for that. But yeah, man, I saw conspiracy and I said, let me call in right
Yep.
now because
I want to hear your take on this, man, because we've been talking like my example was like we were talking about how the fuck are these dudes getting away with this, and how does a culture, like, I can't wrap my mind around the fucking psychology of it. Like, how is it so accepted and how is it so prevalent in some cultures, this weird child molester shit? Like in the fight culture is the example I use because that's the one I know the best. Like, fight culture, that shit doesn't go on, bro. Like, if you got caught doing that in a fight gym, you'd have a really bad time. You get your fucking head cracked open by the first person who found out on the team, bro. Like, fight culture, there we don't have that. And I mean, like, you know, you're an OG hip hop dude.
I
like,
mean,
hip hop
but
doesn't have that
martial arts
either.
isn't like martial arts isn't wicked by nature like politics is.
Yeah,
Like it's
true.
almost like inherently like, or even since the second day it was created, it's been wicked.
Like, you got to be a certain
know
kind
what
of
I mean?
person to be a career
It's
politician.
deceptive, subversive.
Anything over city councilman and you're ready to touch a kid, bro. Anything above fucking
Yeah.
city councilman trying to put a stop sign on your block.
Right.
Other than that, like you know, you got to fight. You got to join the group and
Right.
and fight how we fight and fucking, you know what I mean? It's kind of similar.
Yeah, it makes
and that
sense.
shit'll go all the way to fucking sucking a baby dick or something weird.
Dude.
Sucking gross.
Dude, it's a fucking trip to me, man.
Sucking a baby.
It's insane to me. Like, you know, whether it's hip hop or fighting or whatever, like, there's not a lot of that shit. But then you have these cultures, whether it's religion or politics or, I mean, I see now, I guess, movies, like entertainment. Like, it's got to be a power thing or something. But I guess, like, what I'm asking, it's hard to wrap my head around. Like I was telling Studboy, like, it doesn't matter if you. I don't even want to say like friend or brother or dad or anything, like, because I don't want to associate that type of shit. Like it doesn't matter who you are to me. It doesn't matter how close we've been for how long. If you're doing that shit, you're fucking dead to me. But
you realize how we use like status and power to fuck, right?
Right.
And when you go to extremes, like on our level, we use it to fuck. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you like me, you know me, hey. But once it gets to 20 years in of it, it's like it gets weird and deviant, unchecked. And I feel like we're like 200 years in.
That's it.
Of
Yeah.
the deviance.
That's insane,
Unchecked,
man.
virtually unchecked.
Right. Like,
You
who's
know what
telling
I
you
mean?
no, right? Like we were talking about this whole episode. Not only does, like, Harvey Weinstein, for example, not only was no one telling him no, he had dirt on a bunch of people that if you told him no, he'd make your life miserable, and he hired a fucking paramilitary group to fucking intimidate anyone who not to intimidate anybody who was going to intimidate anybody who was going to publicly tell him no. It's just a weird.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it.
In your field, he could end you.
Yeah.
Like, bruh, like, I could say you can't fight ever again tomorrow, and I can make that decision with just my power. Like, there's literally nothing you can do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't go do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, he had that kind of power in people's field. So if you saw Dana White, like, hollering at a broad or something, you probably shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Rather than just out him and be the you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay,
but this,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
how
get
far
it.
do I want to go for myself?
Yeah.
Hello, you're breaking up, Jamie.
Yo, Jamie.
When
Jamie,
put
you
in
there?
front of
You're breaking up.
Yep,
Sorry.
I'm here.
You're breaking up. Sorry.
All right, well, we're about to,
when
was
they're
there
put
one
in-
last thing, Jamie? We're about to wrap up.
Yo, can you hear us?
I like it. Yep, I'm here.
Sorry.
Fucking,
You cut out for a minute.
I did say Studboy reminds me of Ben Askren.
I can.
He was a good wrestler.
I can see that.
see it.
Yeah.
Flip-flop's a good wrestler.
Yeah, there you go.
Little
I
bit.
said if Studboy was in the UFC, he'd be Ben Askren.
Yeah,
That's what I said on
talking
my show
shit,
last
wearing flip-flops everywhere,
I do like Ben. I do respect Ben Askren's shit talk.
making the fight as boring as possible on purpose and still winning.
Yeah.
Just going like "fuck you guys."
Yeah.
I like that.
and then talking it like it was the best fight.
Yeah.
That's right.
Fuck yeah.
I fucking salute to you guys. I didn't want to hold you up.
All right,
Nah,
brother.
dude, thank you for calling in.
Yeah,
I love
we need
you
to get
guys
you in here one time.
Fucking, I would love to. Studboy, I'd love to hang out with you. Congratulations on the kid and all that
Thanks, man. I
stuff.
appreciate
Hell
it.
Talk to you niggas later. Peace
Yeah,
out.
later, G.
Man, that was a hard R on that one.
Jamie Jones can say whatever you want. Jamie Jones can say whatever you want, dude.
All right, touchysubjectshow.com. Go to that. We'll see you back
Jamie
next week.
Jones is a black man for any of you fucking assholes that want to call in and cancel the show. He can say whatever he fucking wants.
Touchysubjectshow.com. You got anything, Fili?
My band's playing a show January.
Okay.
Bush League. My band is playing a show January 7th. January 7th, my band's playing a show at Holy Diver in Sac. Come check it out. My new band's called Born Breach. Born_Breach on Instagram. Outcasts and Underdogs on Instagram. You know what the fuck it is.
All right.
We love you guys.
Station, Jason, Jose, you guys are the man. Awesome. All right, see you guys next week.
Yep.
Yeah.